Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 19 of the Kpop Weekly Podcast with Emily Mallon. I'm your host, and I'm so excited to have you here this week. A lot of great music, a lot of different music I'm going to talk about tonight. So, you tuned in on a good week if this is your first time joining me. If not, welcome back to my loyal listeners. Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you. This is a weekly show. It comes out every Friday morning here in the States. I know I have a lot of international viewers and listeners, which blows me away when I look at where you guys are listening from around the world. It's so exciting and crazy and humbling. So, thank you so much for joining me. To all of my listeners and viewers around the world, I love you. I'm grateful for you. And I hope you like what you hear and what you see. If you want to communicate with me, the easiest way is Patreon. Go ahead and join the Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff for subscribers. There is a free subscriber option where I will engage in conversation as well. So check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. I want to thank everyone who has joined. There's more coming. There's going to be more cool stuff. So to my day ones who have joined the Patreon, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm really enjoying interacting with you and getting to know you. Most importantly, these poll questions. I have a big show for you tonight, so I kind of want to get started. Let's get to these poll questions. Last week, I reviewed a group called One Pact. They're a new group. They're a 5-member boy group who debuted at the end of last year. And I really want to thank all the One Pack fans who found the episode, who listened to the episode, who watched the episode, who commented. I love talking about groups that maybe are a little slept on. And it's always cool when the fans appreciate the review. In this case, it was great because I genuinely really was impressed and I like the group. So shout out to all the One Pack fans. Thank you for the encouraging words and your friendly comments. I appreciate you. And I will definitely be reviewing their first comeback. I can't wait for that to happen. But speaking of One Pact, it got me thinking about some poll questions. One Pact was formed on Boys Planet, a reality show, the reality show that formed Zero Base One. Contestants who didn't make it ended up being scouted and placed in other groups and other record labels. So Even would be an example of that. I've reviewed them. And now One Pact. A lot of talent on this Boys Planet show. So I had to ask you, did you watch Boys Planet? 80% of you said no, 20% said yes. I did not watch Boys Planet. I don't watch the reality shows mainly because I don't have the time to invest in it. I think once I start watching, I would continue. So maybe the next time around I will, because I think it always changes your opinion of certain vocalists, rappers, dancers when you've watched them on these reality shows. You might find yourself pulling for a certain member because you really like their personality and their talent and all of that stuff. I think it would skew my opinion. I'm not sure if that's a great thing when I'm just doing reviews, but as a K-pop fan, as someone who's obsessed with this, I know I would be obsessed. So the 20% that said yes, understandable. And obviously 80% that said no. I'm right there with you. Last week, I reviewed another group that debuted called TWS. They're the little brothers of 17. That's how I lovingly refer to juniors on this show. So I had to ask, which debut did you like better, One Pact or TWS? One Pack fans, you're going to be thrilled because One Pact won in a landslide. 100% of you voted for One Pact. You guys are really feeling them. I was a little bit surprised at all the comments. I mean, I liked them, I vibed with them, but like longtime listeners and viewers sent me messages like, hey, I really like this group. Thank you for recommending them and for doing the review. Very cool. One Pact is really popular. Next poll question. I reviewed Idol last week and I wasn't crazy about the single. I thought it was okay, but it really, to me, wasn't my favorite Idol title track. It was called Super Lady. So, of course, I had to get your opinion. The choices for the poll were as follows: loved it, not for me, or it was okay. Unfortunately, none of my viewers or listeners loved it. 50% of you said not for me, and 50% said it was okay. I think I would be in the category of it was okay. Um, so that's interesting. And it's always great for me to do these polls because I like to gauge where you are. Am I way off, or are my listeners and viewers kind of on the same page as me? It's probably how we all found each other. We have similar opinions, maybe, but I'm with you on this one. I agree with you guys. This was purely for fun. I was wondering who your idol bias is. So, idol members Yuki, Soyeon, Mayan, Minnie, and Shuha. This is an interesting vote because four of the members have 25% each. Yuki, Soyeon, Minnie, Shuha have 25% votes. So very evenly distributed among my listeners and viewers. My bias is Minnie, my wrecker is Yuki. Unfortunately, Mayhan got 0%. Y'all aren't feeling her when it comes to a bias. That's okay. We all have different opinions and likes, and I'm sure some of the people watching and listening love her and bias her. Last poll question. I'm reviewing Twice's new single, I Got You, tonight. I had a kind of a visceral response to this one. So before doing the show, I was curious what you all felt about the song. And I just asked, what do you think of Twice's new song, I Got You? Do you love it, or is it not for you? 67% of you love it. 33% said, no, not for me. Interesting. Interesting results. You want to know what I think? Hold on for another minute. I'm going to review them first this week. Thank you all so much for voting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love doing these polls. It's something that really helps me. You know, your comments underneath YouTube videos and your poll questions, it lets me know what you guys vibe with, and it helps me tailor the show to kind of feeding you more stuff that you're interested in. Obviously, I'm going to do one pack now moving forward because the fans have really responded. So stuff like this is helpful for me, and hopefully it's fun for you. If you want to vote in the polls, you got to join that Patreon. Head over to the link, join Patreon, join us. There's more coming, I promise. It's fun, it's a community. Thank you to everyone who's already joined. I love you guys. This is fun. It feels like, yeah, now the show's kind of cooking. You know, I'm maybe 4 months in. I love having this community and getting your feedback on a weekly basis. So thank you for voting. There's going to be some poll questions after this week's show. It may get a little spicy in here tonight. I'm not sure if I loved everything I'm about to review. I'm starting off with Twice, I Got You, huge single, pre-release. Then I have to give my opinion on P1Harmony. If you've been following me for years, you know I love these guys. I've been pushing these guys, excited about these guys. They released an entire album, so I'm going to talk about that. And then the members of CIX did a single album with an interesting concept that I want to delve into. So we have a fun episode tonight. Let's get started. If you're not familiar with Twice, Twice is a 9-member girl group. They debuted on JYP in 2015. So when you talk about the biggest K-pop groups in the world, Twice is right there. I think boy bands, you have BTS, 17, Stray Kids. And I think for girl groups, it's Blackpink and Twice. Those, to me, those are the groups that can sell out stadiums. Those are the group that do crazy numbers and have really successful careers. Twice has been building, selling out stadiums worldwide. They're crushing it. Their new mini album drops on, I believe it's February 23rd. It's coming up. So sometimes when groups do this, I don't review the pre-release. I wait till the album comes out. But I had such a reaction to this song, and I felt like I really need to talk about this one. So I'm going to review this one. It's called I Got You. It is an English language song. So this is all in English. Okay, let's talk about it. To be honest, this was better than I was expecting. And that's no shade to them. That's no shade to Twice. But I was kind of just expecting a song that I would like, okay. I went in with very neutral opinions on this one, like I try to do with most groups. I went in neutral. Let's see what they put out. I really, really love this song. I really, really love I Got You. There's like a retro synth with a joyful bounce that feels like K-pop. This song feels like K-pop to me. Although it's English language, it kind of feels like the opposite of Western validation. They kept a feeling of what I have come to know of like a K-pop song. I don't know. This one just didn't feel like a watered down Western song, like so many English language songs do that these K-pop groups have put out the past couple years. This still felt very authentic to Twice and very authentic to K-pop. So I was thrilled. And I didn't even realize the language till about halfway through. Stuff like that doesn't really factor in for me. I just listen to a song when it comes out and then I'll be like, oh, this sounds like it's all in English. But usually the English ones, I can figure it out pretty quickly because the music has been watered down. This one I just loved. I love the feel of this. There's something very special here. And I've got to be real, the chorus, oh, when Nyan comes in on that chorus, it gave me chills. It like did something to me. It is so powerful and so beautiful. I love it. I love this. It's stunning. And I really like the message. I like the lyrics, like we'll make it through like we always do. I've got you. And that can be interpreted in so many different ways. This definitely, for me, felt like a song between friends. It felt like, no matter what, I've got you and we're good. And even when things get bad, we're good. We're going to make it through like we always do. It's such a warm feeling. And it's such a relatable feeling if you're lucky enough to have a best friend or to have people who lift you up and who you've known for a long time that you've gone through stuff with. This just felt really like this isn't a new friend. This is that friend you've had for a decade. For Twice, these are their group members. This felt very intimate for them and triumphant. There was just a lot here that I think the emotions of the song were really translated well. I felt it. I'm going to be honest, this is my favorite Twice release in a while. I don't know why I'm connecting to this song so much, but I really am. I think it's so beautiful and nostalgic and hopeful. It just feels like such a kind of triumphant, loving song for a girl group that's been in it for so long. Like they're still here and they've done it together. And it's kind of a statement like being such good members to each other, caring about one another. It works. They've got each other through it all and they're still here. And I don't know, there was just a feeling. This one really, really, really worked for me. I love, love, love this song. And the vocals in that chorus, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Come through with those vocals, that big open belt. I'm so used to these girl groups doing, how should I say it? Studio singing. I love a big, loud, open belt that's on key, on pitch, driving that chorus. This isn't a high note in the bridge like we hear every single song. This is the chorus, and they knock it out of the park. So shout out to the Twice ladies. Vocals, I hear you. Let's talk about this music video because there's a lot happening in the music video. So they're on a ship and it's like storming and they're kind of waiting out the storm together. That's the story. It's not a big complex story, but the visuals are really pretty. There are a lot of beach scenes, which I like. A lot of them standing there with the wind in their hair, looking gorgeous. Choreography is very cute and very fitting for the song. All 9 members look beautiful. And they have like their own individual vibe, which I like with Twice. They're cohesive as a group, But I think what makes them so successful is that each member has their own individuality, their own personality. So it's not 9 of the same person. There's different personalities. And I think no matter who you are, you can find one you vibe with and you connect with her spirit and her look and her personality. And they do a really good job with that. And in this music video, I saw it, but it was very cohesive. It feels very nostalgic and bittersweet, kind of like the song. They're still here. And I can picture Once's. You must have been crying to this. When this came out, I can picture Once's crying to it. Because again, when I first listened to it, it took my breath away. I was really like, oh my God, this chorus. Ooh, a diehard Once. I'm sure you were crying, and I'm sure watching the music video you were crying. The animation part was surprising when all of a sudden they dive underwater and there's a lot of purple. That surprised me, and it took me back to BTS. We Are Bulletproof, the Eternal. Y'all, music video for BTS. We Are Bulletproof, Eternal devastated me. Devastated me. I cried hard to that one. So trust me once, I get it. And I actually went back when I was taking my notes for this review and I watched it and I was like bawling. I think that's one of BTS's most beautiful music videos. The story of them. Oh, anyways, this kind of took me back to that. So very emotional. And the visuals of the storm passing are really pretty and really symbolic. This group's been through it and they're still here and they're still together and they're still standing strong and putting out great music. So I think the music video really went with the song. I love at the end when the storms passed and all 9 of the girls are on this big, beautiful sailboat smiling and celebrating and, enjoying that moment of being on a boat with the wind in your hair. It felt really natural and I love to see it. It was a good reminder, kind of like the rain stops. In life, the rain stops. The storm ends. So hold on when you're in the thick of it because better days are to come. You know what I mean? We all know that. You know that in your head, or if you're going through something, people will tell you that, which I'm always like, sure. But I liked this kind of visual reminder from Twice. And there's the calmness and the peace. Here in LA, we have had horrible storms this week. It rained so much Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then today I woke up to the sunshine and that exhale of the beauty that rain can bring. I love it. I love this song. I love the message. And I thought the visuals were really stunning. I've got to be real. This made me more excited for this Twice comeback. This really made me like, oh, wow, they're bringing it. And I bet this comeback is going to be killer. So now expectations are high. I'm ready for the comeback in a couple weeks, but I had to talk about I Got You because it really just like moved me. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful song. Congratulations, Twice. Before I move on, I'll talk about my biases very quickly. My bias in Twice is Sana, and then my wrecker is Jihu, the leader. I like all the members, but those are the 2 that I've always kind of vibed with. Like I was saying, personality wise, vocally, looks wise, those are my girls. So nothing's changed there. And they both obviously killed it this comeback. Let's move on. It's time to talk about P1Harmony. P1Harmony is a 6-member boy group that debuted in 2020 on FNC Entertainment. This is a group I've been reviewing since their debut. The album, they gave us a full album. Thank you guys. The album is called Killing It. There's 10 songs. And the single, the title track, it's called Killing It. Are they killing it? Okay. For me, this song is not killing it. I'm just going to be very blunt from the get-go, and I'll tell you why. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's not my favorite thing they've done. The instrumentation, it's a little bit menacing. You have that menacing feel, and a lot of their songs do, but it's not even close to Siren or Do It Like This. It doesn't quite get there. And, they have such a formula with these songs and it's worked really well. This one, it just didn't totally work for me. It doesn't feel as dynamic, maybe, as previous title tracks. Good rap verses. Your rappers are killing it per usual, and the vocalists kill it, but the song somehow doesn't kill it. So it's like, what went wrong? Instrumentation doesn't do it for me. The music doesn't do it for me. And I think the biggest problem is that chorus. It doesn't go anywhere. They're kind of doing a chanting chorus that doesn't go anywhere. And it feels like this group is better than this song. They deserve a song that's a little bit more elevated. This seems like a song that some other groups could do. And I think P1Harmony, the rappers are insane. But the vocalists in this group, this is my favorite vocal group from the fourth generation. I think vocally, their vocal line is so talented. Use them. Use them and give them stuff that 10 other boy groups couldn't just plug in and do. I also feel like that beat gets a little grating as the song goes on. It just doesn't it's not doing it for me. And I'm just one person. My opinion is my opinion. I don't hate it. I don't love it. So if this was like a grade from A to F, like let's take it back to school days and give it a grade, this song's a C for me, maybe a C plus. It's not horrible, but it's just kind of there, and it didn't excite me in ways like their other releases have. The pre-chorus and the bridge are my highlight, again, because of those vocals. Theo, he kills it every time. You want to talk about killing it? You have that guy as a vocalist on this team. He needs more parts. Like, he is such a strong vocalist. I'm always impressed and blown away by him. Of course, he didn't let me down with this one. But guys, the song is just okay. It's not what I know this group is capable of. And I talked about my expectations of Twice, right? I went in very neutral. I think I go into P1Harmony with higher expectations because since debut, I've been very excited by them. They're aggressive. They're not doing cutesy stuff. They're aggressive. They're interesting. They have really talented rappers. And again, a couple vocalists that just knock it out of the park. They remind me so much of Monsta X. That's what I thought of when I saw them live. I started calling them Little Monsters. And if you know me, you know Monsta X is one of my alt groups. So coming from me, that's a massive compliment. They're amazing live. They're one of the groups I recommend highly. They're more impressive live. They bring it. These are stars. They just need to get material that's at their level. This song isn't as good as they are as a group, if that makes sense. It just didn't do it for me. Not the end of the world. There's some good stuff on this album I'm going to get to. But I want to talk about the music video, because this is one of those examples that happens all the time where the music video is infinitely better than the song, and it makes you like the song more because the music video is so effective. I love this music video. Love it. Amazing. Can we talk about the editing? Can we talk about the cuts in this music video? Oh my God. They go with the rhythm and the melody of the song. It feels exciting and different. I mean, it's so wild and cool. I love their visuals. Their team kills it when it comes to visuals and music videos. And this was another hit for me. Choreography, great per usual. And they're such good dancers. They're just so cool. Intak has never looked better. That guy, speaking of cool, he's just like owning it. It's like he doesn't even have to try. He's such a freaking star and so handsome. His styling, yes. I loved his look in every single frame, and I thought he was so captivating. Soul, I love Soul's hair. That's not an easy hairstyle to pull off. It is not easy, but he pulled it off. He has like two-toned hair, and it worked. I thought he looked great. The way things start off, like slapping everyone's hand to the beat. I love that energy. And then you have Intak in the dentist office. There's just a lot of sets and scenes that we're not used to seeing in K-pop videos. And it's so much fun. The one part that stood out to me the most was it goes with the lyrics, which I also really like. But I loved the part where they're on magazine covers and they're like, I'm the boss, I'm the man. So much attitude, so much like humor. Really smart. There's parts where they're almost like paper dolls, characters in a game. Love it. The giant curling set. Like, you guys know curling, the Olympic thing where you go with that thing that moves. They have this like giant set where they're riding on top of it. There's just a lot here that's really unique, really fun. It's wild, fun, cool. I mean, this is why I love P1Harmony. They bring such a unique vibe and a unique thing to the K-pop scene. And it's so well done. Again, I just wish I liked the song more. I think the song is like a C. The music video is an A. This video, yes. Yes. And I love their looks. They all have a different look and vibe. It's very easy to distinguish who's singing, rapping, dancing in front of you. This group has a lot of personality, and I love that. I will say though, one thing I absolutely hate about K-pop is the pressure and the standards of physical beauty, and everyone's always on a diet. If P1Harmony are on a diet, enough. Looking at their debut to now, they've all lost a considerable amount of weight. So if that was the goal, I would just say stop here. You guys are like, no more dieting. We don't need to do that. And I'm not body shaming anyone. I'm not, they all look fantastic. But it just has like stood out to me watching this group from debut till now, how much weight a few of the members have lost. So at this point, like, you don't need to. You're good. You're handsome no matter what weight you are. You all look fantastic. And they look good. Don't get me wrong. They all look really great in this music video. But it's just something that stood out to me. So I just want to like convey that message. You're good. Stop. As a fan, I'm not wanting my favorite idols to be stick thin, men or women. I've never thought, oop, she's too big. No, no, no. Oh, he looks too big. No, not at all. These are like the most attractive, beautiful, handsome people in the world. So I just hate that pressure and noticing it with this group. Just want to put that out there. No shade, no body shaming. Just, and also I know the schedules, it's hard to keep weight on when you're touring and you're working that hard. And some people's metabolisms, that's how it works. So I get that too. I just wanted to put that out there that like, if you guys are dieting like mad, you don't need to. You're all super, super handsome. Okay, sorry about that. Moving on. That was the single. Let's get to my album picks. The songs that stood out the most to me upon first few listens of this P1Harmony release. Tonight, Let Me Love You, and I See You. Okay, Tonight, oh my God, a good funky kind of bass groove wins me over every time. And the bass line in this is phenomenal. They peel back a lot of the instrumentation, especially in that chorus, and it allows the vocals to shine. So what I was talking about with this group, they have such good vocalists. This song, I feel like, really showed that and showcased the vocals. You don't need a million switch ups and a lot of studio tricks when you have singers like this. So yes, to whoever put together this song, they get it. Finally, I love the simplicity and the vibe. It makes me want to dance. Theo, let's go. That pre chorus, his tone and control, out of here, out of this world. And I also want to give a shout out to the leader, to Kiho, because he's so good too. I mean, he really is. He has a wonderful instrument. He has a very unique sound. It's very like, I know when he comes in, and he has a great voice. But Theo, get out of here. I've said this a million times, but he kind of serves Baekhyun vibes. And you know how much I love him. I get that from him. I also want to give a shout out to Jiyoung. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrong. But he shines as well. And he has a lot of personality in his voice. So again, this vocal line is so strong in P1Harmony. I would love more of this, more of the Tonight vibe. Because even though the vocalists are being utilized well, the rappers also have a great part and they kill it. So you can have like the whole thing work seamlessly with this type of song. I just loved this song. I was very excited when the song came on. And really, for me, the second half of this album worked better than the first. So let's go into Let Me Love You because we're in this funky part of the album and I'm so happy we're not leaving. I'm staying. I am seated for this. Let's go. This one had a little bit more production. There's an interesting switch up in the pre chorus, but it works. It doesn't detract from the group. For me, what sold this song was that retro sounding chorus. Oh, that Let Me Love You part with the heavy, like heavy synths. It's so addicting. It's so addicting. The chorus shines in this song. It's cool, it's funky, and it brings a different feel to a traditional kind of K-pop boy band song. This doesn't feel cookie cutter and it's fun. So having those songs, yes, Tonight, Let Me Love You. And then I want to get to I See You. This was their ender, and it's so smart and well done. This is my good mood song. Not only of the week, this is going to go on my good mood playlist. And maybe I'll share that with y'all on Patreon. I have happy, uplifting, good mood songs. My Treasure is still like one of my most played songs. And Morning Sun from Suho, literally every morning. On my Spotify year end, that's always like my number one because I listen to it every day. So I See You is going on that playlist. It makes me feel so happy. There's some Stevie vibes on this. There's some Stevie Wonder vibes on this. Again, it's so smart with the vocalists you have. Really nice vocal performances. I know I've been gushing about Theo, but I really want to give a shout out to Ji-young. He starts things off and he crushes it. He has great character and personality in his performance, in his voice. Again, it's not easy being maybe the third vocalist in this group. And I think he really does a wonderful job. When you're standing out next to Theo and Kiho, talent. Talent. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. I see you and I hear you. But especially on I See You, way to start the song off. I always talk about that opening line, that opening moment. When the vocals come in on any song, it's so important in that first line to grab the listener. This song and with his lines killed it. I also want to give a shout out to Jungsub because he can actually sing. He's a rapper in this group, but he can sing. And I love hearing him sing. I love hearing vocals. So that was nice to hear on this. Obviously, Kyo's tone stands out in this one. And I also really love soul singing. You hear soul sing in this one, and he has kind of a nice lower voice. So there's some dynamics there, which are great. Of course, Theo, he's amazing. You know, they said that I See You as a fan song. Thank you. Because as a fan, it makes me feel joy. And it just like, if the song was a color, it would be oranges and yellows. But it's still cool though. Don't get me wrong. This is not a cheesy, cutesy ballad or something. This is a cool, jazzy Stevie Wonder type song. And I love it. I came back to this song so much this week. Absolutely love it. I See You this is the song. It's time for my rankings from P1Harmony's Killing It album. They give us 10 songs, so these are my songs from least favorite to favorite upon the first few listens. Number 10, Street Star. Number 9, Love Story. Number 8, Everybody Clap. Number 7, Countdown to Love. Number 6 was the title track, Killing It. It's just okay for me. Number 5, Late Night Calls. Number 4, Emergency. My number 3 song was Let Me Love You. It was hard to pick between my 1 and 2, but my number 2 song is Tonight, which means my number 1 song from this P1Harmony release, I See You. I absolutely love this song. I See You is killing it. This is a good project. The album has a lot of good stuff. I'm not sure why Killing It was the choice for the title track. The single doesn't quite work for me. I'm interested to see how this does. I'm rooting for P1Harmony. I hope it kills it. I hope it does really, really well. A lot of good stuff on this album. This group is so talented. So, so talented. Selfishly, I just want more of the I See You vibes. Give me more of those Stevie vibes, or give me more of the funky retro tonight sound. This group can do so many things, but I think when you focus on the vocals, every group doesn't have singers like Kehoe and Theo. Not even close. So, play to the strengths. If you have a chance to see P1Harmony live, Run, Don't Walk, one of my favorite K-pop concerts I've ever been to. No lie. And I go to a lot of shows. They're really, really talented. So, I love you guys. Congratulations to P1Harmony. This was a good release. I just didn't love the title track, the single, but there's some really great stuff on here. And I hope you guys all listen and let me know your thoughts. I'm sure there'll be some poll questions on this one. Before I move on, it's time to talk biases and wrecker. It's time to talk biases and wrecker. My bias in this group, I actually double bias. So Intak and Theo are my biases. My wreckers are the other four members. I like every single person in this group. For different reasons, they all draw me in. So I stand them all. I stand all of these guys. But Intak is like the most handsome, coolest guy ever. Theo is that one. He's talent, 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 talent. And he never has to do too much because he knows he has that voice. He has that cool, quiet confidence that is just so appealing. Love these guys. P1Harmony, check them out. Okay, this is an interesting one. And CIX got some votes in my poll last week on who you wanted me to review. So I'm going to talk about it. CIX is a 5-member boy group. They debuted under F9 Entertainment in 2019. They've had a lot of really interesting stuff. I think they're very slept on. They have some songs that are phenomenal. Some of my favorite songs I've ever reviewed are from CIX. This is called First Single Album 0 or 1. So it's 2 songs. I'm only going to talk about 2 songs. The single is called Lovers or Enemies. Interesting sound to start things off. Very retro 80s synth sound. I like that. They really peel it back for the pre-chorus. There's a lot here that is so, so different from the overproduced kind of K-pop stuff that we hear. Again, this works well for them because they have nice vocals. The vocals go with the melody. Like I was talking about with P1Harmony, Let Me Love You. The vocals here go with the melody of the song and the instruments. So you have that hitting, hitting, hitting. It's cool. When people do that, I think it's cool. It's different and it's fun. But this is a very different sound. This song is really, really different. I can see people loving it and gravitating towards it because there's something unique. I like this a lot. This is refreshing. It lets them showcase their vocals, but what I really like is it has this richness where it stays low and chill and draws you in. Of course, you know Sunghoon is going to hit that crazy note in the bridge, and he does. I mean, he's a super talent, and he goes so high, he kills it. But most of the song, it doesn't have the chaos of a lot of K-pop production. This is very mature and grounded and restrained. There's some really cool layering that happens. Sonically, I really appreciate this song. And I think it's a risk. You know, it's a risk to do a mid tempo song that doesn't have all of the energy and excitement of a fast paced release. But I think it works. I think this group can pull off a mid tempo track like this for the title track. It's so interesting. And it's just very cool and very different. So I can see fans of the group loving this. And I can see people who maybe aren't huge fans, once they find this song, really appreciating it. So I hope you all find this song. It's very cool and very different. Let's talk about the music video. So the music video, they're like AI robots in a lab. Very timely concept with our culture right now with AI. And it kind of follows them becoming more and more human. Simple, effective styling. All five look very handsome. It's cool. It's a cool video. I want to talk about the choreography because you don't see tons of it in the video, but I watched performance stuff so I could see the full choreography from CIX. I think it works okay. But I've got to say, I think this was a missed opportunity for some grounded, kind of grown man, mature type of choreography. This isn't a fast driving track, so a more grounded approach would have worked better for me than quick arm movements and some of the formations they did. I think sometimes you just need to breathe, and the subtle movements are so effective. Think like Taman move. He's not all over the place. He's literally just standing there doing this, and it's iconic. So I think they had a chance here with the song to do something like that, to ground it more. And they didn't. So that's kind of my knock on the music video. The choreography could have been a lot stronger. But it wasn't I mean that's not like a huge thing because literally in the music video there's not a lot of choreography. I liked the storyline of the scientist, kind of this average girl, and the love scenes between the members and her, as they're dreaming and becoming more and more human. I thought it was different, it was unique, and it worked. So this was fine. This music video worked. I like the song. Let's talk about the other song. It's called My Name is Shadow. It's a ballad. This is a pure ballad. Some lovely low notes from Hyunsuk at the start. There's a bare vulnerability in his delivery. I really appreciated that. I thought BX killed the pre-chorus. This group is very talented, and a tender ballad like this allows them to show off as vocalists. I like how they each have moments to shine, but really those lower tones from Hyunsuk and BX grabbed me. Those were the highlights of the song for me. I don't think My Name is Shadow is the most memorable song that CIX has ever done, but I think the fans will like it. It feels like this group's kind of in flux. They debuted 4.5, 5, almost 5 years ago. And this is the group that brought us, Movie Star and Cinema and Jungle. They had such a strong first couple years, and they've creatively done some really good stuff since then. This was interesting. I would have liked a full album or at least an EP, a more full project, because really there's one song that I think is pretty good. That's it. So interesting, but to me, it's not. I think Lovers Are Enemies is a very interesting song. And that's one that maybe could bring some new fans. But I don't think in general this project is going to elevate them to the next level or grab a lot of people who maybe weren't familiar. I think it's good, but not great. Let's talk about biases. My biases in this group changed dramatically when I saw them in person. Sometimes that happens. A lot of times with the stuff that we see, music videos, reality shows, their personalities sometimes don't come through in the way that they do when you see them on stage. So a lot of times for me, my biases will change once I see a group in person. This group, everything completely changed. So my bias is a Sunghoon. I thought he was so dynamic when I saw them. And then my wrecker is BX. I loved his energy and his presence. Those two just stole me when I saw them. The other three members are all very attractive and talented too. No shade to them. But those two guys, something about them on stage, I was like, yes. I'm interested in what you guys think of this. This will definitely be a poll question, and I want to hear from you on the CIX release because I think it's good and different. I'm not sure if it's enough to kind of put them over the edge and get them the recognition and the numbers that they deserve. This group's been around for a long time and they have amazing music. Really, really talented. So I highly recommend CIX. I'll put some of my favorite songs on my playlist this week. Check them out and let me know what you think about this song and music video because I'm kind of on the fence. So I loved the song. The music video was just okay, kind of the opposite of P1Harmony. This music video was fine, but the song was really cool. I think I just had something different in my head on what I would have done. It's time to move on. Let's talk about some K-pop news. Here's what's happened in the world of K-pop since I spoke with you last week. Hypen announced US tour dates, 5 dates in Anaheim, Tacoma, Oakland, Long Island, and Chicago. These are arenas. I think that's smart. They're going to sell out in a second. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to drive to Anaheim or not. For those of you who don't know, I'm based in Los Angeles, but I like Hypen, and they're going to sell out in 2 seconds. And Jean have to be excited and nervous for ticketing. WeBridge announced their full lineup for their festival. NMIX is part of the lineup. Tickets already went on sale. I think festivals, it's an interesting time for K-pop festivals. I'm wondering how this one will go. Last year I covered the WeBridge Festival for New York City K-pop Queens, and it was great. And Hypen and Monsta X were the headliners. One Us was there, King Daniel, Dreamcatcher. There were a lot of great groups last year, and it was a really fun experience. The lineup's a little different this year, and they're not really even promoting anyone as headliners. So it feels like, ugh. And it took them a while to get the lineup out. They kept saying, we told you we were going to announce it today, but they kept pushing back lineup, pushing back ticket sales. I'm concerned for this because we just saw what happened with Crazy Concert. So Crazy Super Concert was supposed to be this weekend here in LA. I kind of felt the writing on the wall when I was checking ticket sales. It didn't sell. It did not sell. And they started closing off sections, making them look like they were sold, which is not a good sign. And I know in New York, they did the same thing. And then they pushed everybody down to the floor, which I would never want to be on the floor at a stadium show. You can't see anything. I learned that BTS 2018. I guess that was 2018, 2019. So I was getting concerned. Is this going to happen or not? And then they announce there's rumors going around. Don't believe them. The concert is still happening. Same city, same lineup. So we're all thinking, okay, is the venue changing? Literally the next day, oh, we regret to inform you because there's going to be rain. We're canceling it. Granted, we had the worst storm ever. Sunday, Monday, and yesterday, Tuesday, it rained. I'm recording this on Wednesday. But we're fine now. The weather is fine this weekend. If weather was really the concern, then why on earth would you schedule a winter concert? Why are you doing a February concert outside? The real issue was tickets weren't selling. And I worry about that for WeBridge as well. I think these kind of K-pop festivals where you're asking a premium, that was something that sold well right out of the pandemic because we were all so thirsty to go to as many K-pop concerts as possible. But I think now K-pop fans and consumers are being a little more restrained in how many concerts they go to. We're all being a little more selective because you have to. When you're charging these ticket prices, who can afford to go to every single K-pop concert? The prices are really expensive. So I know in talking with other fans, even other journalists, they're being very selective in what they go to because the cost is so high. For something like this, I mean, you're going to be, unless you live in Las Vegas, you're traveling to Vegas for it. That's hotel or gas money, flights. It's a lot of money. And then the WeBridge is charging, I think the cheapest ticket's like $160, and that's per night. That's not for the weekend. So you're in the nosebleeds for $160. So now you're at, what is that? $320 for tickets, plus your hotel, plus your flight. That's so expensive. That's too, and then their VIP is like 1,000 or for VIP, and then for the VVIP, it was something like 1,700. It feels like promoters are taking advantage of K-pop fans, and it hurts the entire genre because the more of these concerts that get canceled, the more the industry can say, see, K-pop was just a fad. They're not even able to sell tickets anymore. So shame on these promoters. I see you. I see what you're doing. And it's really, really shitty for everyone involved. I'm mad. I'm fired up. Because Crazy K-pop concert, I was really looking forward to. And I will be honest, I was covering it for an outlet that I've dreamed of having a byline for. That's right. I was going to write something. It's been a while, and I thought this will be really fun to cover. So for me, this was going to be like an amazing experience, and also professionally in this climate to get paid to cover a concert isn't that easy. There's a lot of competition pitching these days. So I was very excited to get this assignment, and they canceled it. So crazy super concert. I'm not happy. That sucked. And again, I'm a little worried for Rebridge. If I had to give any advice to fans listening, watching, I would wait on buying the tickets. Wait on buying tickets. Wait on booking your hotel and your flight and everything else. I'm nervous about this one. I don't think the lineup is where it needs to be for them to be charging these prices. And it's a shame because I loved Rebridge last year. I loved it. I mean, I was on the fence if I was going this year. If the lineup was, groups that I was passionate about, I was definitely going to go. Whether I was covering it or not, I'd be covering it for you guys. So I was planning on going and covering it. But the flights and hotels and everything else, not great. Okay, moving on. Speaking of Weebridge, One Us announced a US tour, and I'm going to recommend them. They're great live. I was always like a casual fan of theirs. I've reviewed them quite a bit, but I had never seen them live until last year at Weebridge. And they did both nights, and to me, they were the standout. They stole the show. They were so freaking good. So if you are a casual fan of One Us and they come to your city, that's one that I would say selectively buy the tickets. Also, the tickets are reasonably priced. They're not asking for $500. So shout out to the promoters, shout out to them. This is going to be a successful tour. KCON Hong Kong, the first part of the lineup has come out. KCON seems to be the only festival that is immune to all of these issues. And I think it's because they get a great lineup. The lineup for Hong Kong, just the first part has ATEEZ, ZB1, TWS. So they're getting great names. I can't wait for KCON LA. I will definitely be going to that. Dreamcatcher also announced more dates on their European tour. So European fans and listeners, if you're a Dreamcatcher fan, check that out. They announced a bunch of dates this week. Auditions for new members of 50/50 have started. The 50/50 drama never ends. They're replacing the members that left. I think there's one original member left, and now they're like, all right, let's audition. So that's interesting. Major shout out to Subin from T by T. He donated 100 million won. For those of us in the States, that's equivalent to about $75,000 to the Seoul Children's Hospital. Hoshi from 17 also donated 100 million won. His went to a charity called Fruit of Love. It helps children and teenagers. So shout out to both of them. Always nice to see that. NCT Dream has a comeback coming in March. Those guys, huge. NCT Dream is huge internationally, but like in Korea, they're like the biggest boy band. They are so popular. So interested in that comeback. I love NCT. The Grammys were a few days ago, this past weekend. I watched. None of my Patreon subscribers watched. We have a conversation going on the Patreon page. Nobody watched. Everyone else is over it. And I have to be real, I was completely struck by the lack of not only K-pop, but Korean music, Asian representation. It wasn't there. And the president of the Grammys came out in this really like, I'm the best kind of speech and talked about what a global night this is. What? Sir, global? You can't have an award show and call it global when one of the most popular genres in the world has been completely ignored. Completely ignored. No K-pop artists were nominated. No K-pop artists were in attendance, performing, or presenting. The Western industry is trying to tell the world that K-pop is a fad. It's not that big. It doesn't matter. Keep them out. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. It infuriates me. I was tweeting about it. I'm going to talk about it. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke and it's a farce. And I've talked about the Grammys a lot on my shows in previous years because I think what a lot of people don't understand, this was when BTS was nominated and they kept losing. I said they're going to lose. It doesn't go to who should win. The Grammys have little cliques, little groups, and the voting is predetermined by those groups. So let's say you're in a Taylor Swift group. She is not nominated in this category. So her group will then make a deal with somebody else. Okay, we'll vote for so and so for this award if you throw votes for Artist of the Year Taylor's way. There's all that stuff that goes on. It's complete politicking. And if you've listened, like India Arie has talked about it, Eminem has talked about it, Kanye has talked about it. I don't think they even submit themselves anymore. Because that's the thing, too. You have to submit your work. It's not just people saying, what was the best this year? You have to submit for this. So K-pop is never going to get there because K-pop isn't in the little cliques here in the West. And BTS did everything. BTS did everything. They played the game. They watered down, did some, dynamite English songs that were much more palpable to the Western audience's ear. They did features with all of these people. They did everything that they were told to do, and they still lost. And the reason why is because they're under Scooter. Scooter Braun's their guy here. He's their connect, right? Scooter's people usually don't win. If you look at the nominations of like Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande compared to how many wins they have, even though number-wise they're so commercially successful, I knew with all of that, it doesn't matter that BTS played the game. Scooter's artists aren't going to win. Look what happened. So it's total political. It's total bullshit. But it still bothers me. And I'm maybe I'm the only one that gets like fired up about this. But when that guy came out and he had the audacity to say, this is truly a global event, you're out of your ever loving mind to say that when K-pop is one of the biggest genres in the entire world and you don't have any of them on stage. Look at album sales last year. Look at album sales, US album sales, pure albums, people that actually bought an album, 7 out of 10 were K-pop artists. 7 out of 10. Look at the Billboard 200 and who's topping the Billboard 200. K-pop artists. But, you can't even get mad because like SZA topped the Billboard 200. She had like a history of so many weeks on top of the Billboard 200 and, she doesn't win album of the year. It's all politics. It's all BS. But it just shows me that the Grammys are very behind because the VMAs, I thought, did a wonderful job this year. The VMAs were actually good with putting different world music on. I mean, obviously Stray Kids performed, but like I was introduced to Peso Pluma. I had never listened to him before and I watched it and thought, this is so cool. I love this. They actually did a global show that was current and what people actually are into. Whatever. Grammys can be Grammys and keep doing what they're doing, but don't you dig it on stage and celebrate yourself and pat yourself on the back for your global show. No, miss me with that. Miss all of us with that. Because most of my listeners and viewers don't watch anyway. Whatever. I get so fired up, but I just cannot with the disrespect. And it's funny too, because if you look at TV shows and movies, that world rewards Korean entertainment, right? Parasite, Minari, Squid Game, they're winning awards at the Golden Globes and Oscars. But over here on the music side, God forbid they give K-pop the flowers they deserve. God forbid. I don't know what I need to do to change this. I will always speak out against it. I will always champion for these artists. But I don't know. Maybe I need to become a member of the Academy. Maybe I need to do more than that. I want to advocate so hard for this because this music is so freaking good and what they're doing is so good. You want to know what a joke the Grammys are? Guess what won Best Music Video? The Beatles. I can't. I can't. Like, they don't even give K-pop nominations for music videos when their music videos are so freaking beautiful and amazing. Anyways, I feel a really like horrific rant coming on where I'm gonna talk for another hour about this. So I'm gonna peel it back. Stop. I think I got my point across. Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't great. And like Jay-Z said in his speech, I'm honest. He said, when I'm nervous, I'm honest. And I loved his speech. I loved it when he said, some of you don't belong in the category. And then he said, sorry, when I'm nervous, I'm honest. Same here, my Sagittarius King. I feel you. I'm not nervous right now, though, but I'm going to be honest. A lot of those people don't even deserve to stand next to groups like BTS and Stray Kids and Twice and Blackpink. They're not even close to the same level. Anyways, let's move on. That's all I have for you in news. And if you want to be part of this discussion, join the Patreon. There's different benefits and tiers for paid members. There's free membership. Join the Patreon. Check out what we're doing over there. You get to vote in polls. You get a weekly playlist, conversation. You will get a discount for the merch, which is on its way. I'm working very, very hard on that. Come join the conversation. I love hearing your feedback and your thoughts, but the overarching theme is none of you watch the Grammys but me, and I don't blame you. Next week, I will be back with a full review of 10. 10 is debuting, his solo debut. 10 from NCT, from Wavy, from Super M. It's crazy that he hasn't had a solo release yet, but we're getting it. So I'm going to talk about 10. I'm also going to review a group called 8 Turn. They had a comeback recently, and this was requested by a viewer and listener. So I want to talk about these guys. A lot of young, great boy groups coming up. Like I said, it's boy groups that are ruling K-pop. I'm sorry, I said what I said. 2024 is about the boy groups. I will keep the reviews coming. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for loving music and being as passionate about K-pop as I am. I get fired up sometimes because this means so much to me. This is such a connector. Think about it. All of the people listening and watching from all over the world, and what we have in common is we love this music. This music does something to us and for us that we want to hear other people talk about it, and we want to connect with other fans. It's so special. And I'm very, very grateful that I'm able to bring you this show every week. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you all. I'm so grateful. Next week, I'll be back with that 10 review. Excited to talk about this one. Expectations are high. I hope you're all healthy and happy and life is going well. And if it's not, I'm sending you hugs and positive vibes and a lot of light. Like that Twice song reminded me this week. After the storm, peace and calmness and joy. There's still joy to be found on the other side of whatever you're going through. Hold on to that. Think about that when the storm is so heavy, you can't get out of it. It will stop. There will be an exhale moment. You've got this. I believe in you. I love you. And I will be here next week. Thank you for joining me. Bye, guys.